Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Farming Simulator 22, and once again we're taking a look at a lineup of classic tractors added into the game through a series of mods. Today's is going to be the Minneapolis Moline lineup, and we're going to be adding in 7 distinct tractor models from Minneapolis Moline through 5 different mods, and all of those mods can be found down in the description for this video. You'll also find a link for my real-life farming channel, which I definitely recommend checking out if you're a fan of farming stuff, because it's where I do all my farming stuff in real life. So I'll also probably have a link for that in a pinned comment if I remember to do so. But yeah, we're looking at Minneapolis Moline. So Minneapolis Moline is a company that I believe this company was founded in 1929 when the Minneapolis Threshing Machine Company, or MTM, and the Moline Plow Company and Minneapolis Steel and Machinery Company, MS and MC, merged together to form one farming company. So that would be the then known as the Minneapolis Moline Power Implement Company. This was, of course, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, so in the upper Midwest of the United States. And from 1929 until 1963, when it became part of the White Agricultural Company, Minneapolis Moline produced various different farming implements, all sorts of equipment, and of course their tractors. And we have a great lineup here. You can see from our smallest one, we have this, the Minneapolis Moline UB. This is a 1953 tractor. Then we have the U302, the G750, the G850, the G1355, the A4T 1600, and the A4T 1600 Turbo. And actually, in all honesty, these last 3 tractors on here were produced by the White Manufacturing Company, or a White Agricultural Company, and just branded as Minneapolis Moline. So from what I understand, at least on the G1355, I don't know where the architecture for the A4T comes from, but for the G1355, the whole front end is all Minneapolis Moline, and then the back end is all Oliver, from what I understand. But of course painted yellow. So anyway, just taking a look at these inside our garage so I can pop through and give you the stats on them, starting with the smallest one. We have the UB, which is a 50 horsepower tractor. Now in real life it wasn't a 50 horsepower tractor. The mod has just moved it up. This was a pretty small tractor, but it was made in 1953, so that makes sense. But in the game here we have 50 horsepower, a top speed of 15 miles per hour, and it's not a very expensive tractor. That's another nice thing about using all these classic tractors added through mods in the game, is that it actually makes the equipment that you're using very, very affordable. Then just moving up from there, we have the U302. This one is 58 horsepower, so interesting that a tractor that is so much larger than the other one, because that one is brought up with horsepower, is actually not that much more powerful in the game. But this one has 58 horsepower and a top speed of 21 miles per hour. Our next biggest one is the G750 at 75 horsepower with 18 miles per hour for our top speed. Our G850 is 95 horsepower with a top speed of 18 miles per hour. And then moving into the medium tractors, we have the G1355, which is 142 horsepower and a top speed of 21 miles per hour. Our A4T 1600 stock has 169 horsepower, max speed of 17 miles per hour. And our A4T 1600 Turbo has 200 horsepower and a top speed of 17 miles per hour. So we have everything from 50 horsepower at the very low end all the way up to 200 horsepower on our big 4x4 there. So you can realistically farm if you're a Minneapolis Moline fan and you want to play Farming Simulator. Just having this lineup here, you could make it work. I went through all of the equipment in the game just without any mods, and there is... I just started with a haymaking lineup, and you can easily pretty much just use one tractor for one equipment, for one implement, and use every single one in this lineup for a haymaking operation. Now, of course, if you don't want to do that and you want to be more efficient, you could realistically just have, like, I don't know, 2 G1355s and 2 of these A4T 1600s and run everything like that. But what's the fun in that? I like using the smaller stuff. So I guess we'll start with the purchasing options on these just to show you what it looks like. All of these mods I think are fairly well done. They don't have a ton of different options, so you can see for our smallest and oldest one, the UB, we have our main color for stock, like what it would have looked like at the time, or faded or whatever, and then we have a restored option, and then of course we just have the option between the narrow front and the wide front. So fairly limited customization there, but it makes sense given the fact that it's a very old tractor. Next one, we have our U302. This one has very little customization as well, basically just weights, so you can either go with front weights or no front weights, so very limited customization there. We have the 750 and 850, so just looking at the 750 to start with, we have some tire customization, so you can see we can go with the 4-rib Firestone or the 3-rib Firestone. We can choose to have weights on the front, and then of course we can choose between the fuel fenders, which are a famous Oliver fender, but then of course adapted for the Minneapolis Moline, or of course our canopy or standard fenders, and then we can choose our muffler design. So you can see that we can choose to go with a straight pipe or a muffler. And that's it for the 750. 850 is just a more powerful version of the same thing, so you get the 750 and then the 850. All of the other options are going to be the same. Moving up to our medium tractors, with the 1355, we can choose to go with a standard configuration, a 560 kilogram front weight, a 760 kilogram front weight, a 1010 kilogram front weight, or of course back to standard, and then we have single tires, clamp duals, or single tires. I don't know why I made that sound like 3, but it's just the 2 options, so either duals on the back or single tires. Then lastly, we have our big 4-wheel drive, the A4T 1600, and so we have 2 different options there. This, well, I should say 4 different options, because we've got stock, and then stock with a chrome pipe, and then we have the turbo, and then turbo with the chrome pipe. Then of course for our wheel setup, we've got stock duals, wide duals, or wide duals with weights, and then air conditioner, yes or no, fender, yes or no, and beacon, yes or no. So fairly simple design there for a pretty solid tractor, like I said, up to 200 horsepower. Now we'll just go through and I'll show you what each one of these tractors sounds like, because, you know, custom sound files were added for them. So that one will be our most unique one, being such an old little putt-putt. Here's our U302. Here's our G750. Has a very slow takeoff. Here's our G850. I put the canopy on this one. Here's our 1355. Very quiet. The sound on this one is very quiet. You can see we have a substantially quicker takeoff than those last 2, which, you know, makes it more fun to use. And we got those big wide dual rear wheels. Back that one up a little too far. Here's our A4T 1600 stock. Here's our interior view on this one. It's of course articulated behind the cab, like most 4x4 articulated tractors from this time period. And then here's our A4T 1600 Turbo. And so that is the entire Minneapolis Moline lineup, or at least what is available in Farming Simulator 22. I don't know why I said that instead of 22. But in any case, I think pretty cool. If you're a fan of the Minneapolis Molines, I think it's a lot of fun to be able to do this with your favorite classic tractor brands. I don't think the new equipment is all that interesting to farm with in this game. I mean, some people definitely like all of the modern stuff. I prefer the classic stuff. So this is yet another video in the series where I'm showing how to do this. Hope you liked it. If you have any specific tractor brands from from the 60s through the 90s that you'd like to see me getting a full lineup worked into the game, through various different mods, and then showcasing it in a video like this, let me know. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.